Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. Welcome to another Tuesday Night Gold Panning Fever, episode number 190, where we're going to be going through some more Miners Catch. Freya's bag to be exact. But before I do that, let me catch up on chat, see how everyone's doing. Let me see who we got here. HD Shovelhead, thank you for being here. I see you replying to Ortiz, but I don't see his comment. So I'm guessing Ortiz is in the background. So Ortiz, thank you for being here as well. Mark Sheldon, how's it going? Thank you for being here. Brad Thompson. Who else? Alaskan Assassin Adventures. In case y'all don't see, I am wearing my Alaskan Assassin's Adventures t-shirt today. We did a shirt trade, so showing off his handiwork here, even though my microphone's right in front of it. So we'll do little movements so you can see it every once in a while. Ozark Buck, how's it going, Bradley? I know you can't chat, but I appreciate you lurking. I really do. Stephen LeBlanc, how's it going? Casey String. Carl Madley, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. SRIP63, what's up, brother? And speaking of a Carl, I did see Old Sasquatch. I saw him post something on Facebook day before yesterday or something. So he's still around and kicking, just not joining the shows anymore. So Casey String, I'm going to talk about that in a second, about the bottomless pit. And I figured out what it was, but yeah. Aaron Mack, how's it going? Utah Mining. Adam Weiss. What else we got? I know I missed somebody. Didn't I miss somebody? April Davis, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. And anyone else, if I miss you, I apologize. Hours Crafted, how's it going? Anyone else, again, if I miss you? Donna, how are you? I was worried you might. I didn't see you last week, so I was worried you weren't going to show up this week. I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to message her. See what's wrong. How are you doing, Donna? Hopefully you're doing good. All right, so I can pop out chat now. There we go. Open up my OBS so I can look at my ugly mug. Make sure y'all, if y'all got to suffer, I've got to suffer as well. Neanderthal Prospector, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. No. But yeah, KC, yeah, I will have a part 2 coming out tonight after this live. It'll probably be like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Still got to make the thumbnail, but I edited it earlier. I just didn't have time to finish up the thumbnail before I posted it. So it will be up later tonight. I figured out what it was, but now I just need to figure out how to fix it. So, or preserve it or do something that's not going to break the bank, because I'm poor. I can't be dealing with this kind of stuff, man. Yeah. It's big. Let's just say that. So I can't just go to like Home Depot and buy a couple bags of sand and throw it in there. So, and yes, as to my Paydirt, I will be, I was working on them right before the live show. I will have, I'm going to finish those up tonight. So that's what I have to do after the live tonight. I've got to finish up the Paydirts tonight. And then, finish and post, my own Oak Island project part 2 later tonight. The Paydirts will be up for sale tomorrow. Probably what I will do is make a post in the morning telling you all the details about the Paydirt, but it not be up for sale. And then a few hours later in the day, I will post the Paydirt just to give everyone a heads up so it just doesn't drop and, like buy now. So everyone will have 5 or 6 hours to, go check their couch for change and stuff like that and find it all. So, the price is going to be $115. So I have, 1 gram bottles and a couple 2 gram bottles. 1 grams are going to be $115 shipped. And then the 2 grams are going to be $220 shipped. So, I will tell everyone as well, about half of it is black sands and about half of the gold is -40 or below. So, they're not going to be easy Paydirt. So if you want an easy Paydirt, this isn't the one for you. If you just want shelf decoration and you don't plan on painting it anytime soon, well, then by the time you do paint it out, you'll be good enough to get the fine gold out. So Mega Silver Stacker, how's it going? Shane Prothero, Jason G, how's it going? Use it as a dump to dump all your tailings in for the next 20 years. Gold Baron, how's it going? I don't know if you see, but Goldberg, I have something on my shelf of yours coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. So I'm not excited about it. Not excited at all. PA Patriot, what's up, brother? How's it going? Yeah. So, well, the problem is, it wouldn't be if it had a top. See, if where the concrete plug is for my Oak Island treasure pit, if it had a plug like a smaller one, like say for a septic tank that I could lift up and pull, that would be great. I would dump all my tailings in there for the rest of my life. But unfortunately, it's cracked on the side, and water is just going to keep eroding my yard into it, and I don't want to have to then fill my yard up. So oh, did you get one as well, HD? So, but I don't know what I'm gonna do yet about the yard. I know what it is now. You'll have to watch the video to find out later tonight. But now it's just gonna come to how do I fix it on a budget, on a really, really small budget. I think I know how, but then that's gonna have to take like a week to do, because I'm gonna need my son to help me do whatever it is, because there's gonna be a lot more digging involved. So in this week it's supposed to rain a whole bunch, and I'm going to try and put something in front of it this weekend just to block the rain and hopefully, not mess it up even more, make it worse. And then, in 2 weeks, I'll make a video showing me fixing it. So we'll have to see. Gold Baron. Flex seal, yeah. Well, unfortunately, the hole is probably the size of a 5-gallon bucket. I could slip a 5-gallon bucket through the hole. So I did think about flex tape, just wrapping flex tape, a whole bunch of it back and forth. But, it's got to be something that, unfortunately, since it's underground, it has to be something, in my video, I think I say put some 2x4s along it, but that won't work just because, Utah mining, that's a good idea. Before I close it, I probably will do that. My magnet is sitting right there on the floor because I was using it to pull all the black sands out of my tailings for my my Paydirt. So I have my magnet out, and I will say in this video that's coming out later tonight, I did throw a rock with some string in it to see how deep it was, and it's not as deep as I thought. So it's still pretty deep though, too much to fill. So. But I am going to definitely magnet fish it now that you said that. So I might, I don't know yet if I will. I have thought about throwing a pump down there and draining it just to see what's in the bottom of it. But then that would mean I'd have to excavate it more. And I don't know if I really want to do that. But it'd be nice to see what's in there because, like I said, dirt's been going into it for years from what I can tell, just because, it's always had holes in my backyard. And I've been here over 5 years, and every year I throw 2 or 3 bags on what I always thought was rabbit holes, but it was just, tunnels forming going into it. So I'm sure it's got, 3 feet of dirt on the bottom of it now because of that. So we'll have to see. Megadog 555, how's it going? Scott Bryant, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And anyone, again, if I miss you, I apologize. Dorothy, how are you? Thank you for joining the show. Pop the top. So the top is concrete. So whatever it is, I'm not going to tell everyone what it is, but the top on it is probably about 6 feet, maybe 5 feet wide all around. And it's concrete and it's about a foot thick. So there's no moving the top. This thing was not supposed to be opened. It was not supposed to ever be opened, which is really weird. I mean, the third video, I'll talk more about it. But it is really cool that they built this for my house, but it just, I don't know. Dina Littlehale, how's it going? Like I said, it's just going to cost money and a lot of time. I don't want to waste digging holes in my backyard. My neighbor, my nosy neighbor next door must be like, why is he digging a hole in his backyard? But she hasn't caught me. I've seen her a couple times right when I've been outside putting stuff around it and moving stuff. And then I immediately go inside before she can get to me and do something. So can you get free fill dirt? I could, but you'll see in the next video on why I honestly don't want to fill it. I want to repair it. So imagination to form. It might be. It might have just been like kind of plugged up from all the dirt from my yard going into it all the time. So who knows? Like I said, it's not something I will say it's much better than I thought it was. It is not, I will tell you, it is not a septic tank, which was my original fear. My original fear that it was an old septic tank, because for whatever reason, I live in a small house, and leaving my house, I have two plumbing lines that leave my house, two main 4-inch lines that leave my house. And one of them is directly in line. I mean, perfectly in line to this pit. And I was really worried it was this old septic tank that then they kind of plugged and moved to the new second line that I have, because the new line is, the second line is newer. So, air conditioner. Let me turn that off. So it's not a septic tank, thankfully. So, because that's what I was really worried about. So, if it would have been a septic tank, I would have just kept throwing dirt on top of it and ignored it and pretend like I did not know it was there for when I future sell my house. So I 100% think she thinks that, because she has to think something is weird with me, because I will come out of my basement like I did. See, the reason I found this was because I was outside last week drying Paydirt. I had a tarp set up in my yard, and I was coming up out of my basement dumping buckets of dirt in my yard to dry. And I also had a bucket of +10 rocks, and that's why I took the +10 rocks and I brought them out there, and I was like, well, let me just pour those down the hole. And when I poured them down the hole is when I started moving them around, I heard the rocks hitting water, and I thought, oh Lord, that's not good. So no digging a ground pool, yeah. How far from the house is it? It's probably 20 feet, away. So, fallout shelter. It could be. I will say I have a pretty secure basement. I don't think my basement's going anywhere. I have a basement, obviously. My studio's in my basement. And I also have, all my joists in my house are steel. I have nothing but steel beams both ways going criss and cross. I have one major steel beam, then a whole bunch of smaller steel beams going across. So my basement is pretty much a storm shelter as it is. Now the house could get blown away and it'd be open to the sky, but I have a couple steel poles I could chain myself to. So, Wesley, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Eric's Random Projects and Reviews, thank you for joining the show. Joey Brown. And anyone, if I miss you, I apologize. I know sometimes when I start talking, I miss stuff in chat. Chasing Cheddar with Curtis, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. I think I've gotten everyone. John Gear, thank you for joining the show. So, but we'll see later. We don't have basements down here. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of basements. I've never liked basements. It was just when I found this house, the only reason is originally with my realtor, I kept telling him I do not want to look at houses with basements. I don't want a house with basements, especially in Indiana. Most of the basements in Indiana used to have old oil tanks in them. So a lot of them, half of the basements are just black and charred, and you can't really use them because they had old oil tanks in them or coal bins in them. So I didn't want a basement, and the only reason I like this house is because the basement, one, it never had coal, and it never had oil, and it had the steel beams. So I was like, well, at least it's kind of like a mini bomb shelter. So, they only moved the gravestones, not the graves. I will say, I'll let y'all watch the movies, but there is part of that in this video coming up. So now for tonight, though, we're not going to be digging. We're just going to be panning. I have some more miners catch, and I did notice. So I went to their website, and I will read what I saw on their website today. If you didn't watch that video, you have to go watch my last video, the miners catch. But I went to their site today to check it out to see if because they put everything out of stock. The miners catch will be closed for inventory purposes May 18th through May 27th. Any website orders will be fulfilled on May 28th. We are sorry for inconvenience this may cause. So, in other words, y'all placed too many orders and they realized they were losing money. And so they pulled everything off the website. I really hope some people got some of this miners catch. I think I know one person who definitely got some. But hopefully some people got some of these Paydirts, because that's the best way to find a good Paydirt, is find those small sellers who don't update their website continuously, like Gold Nugget Sales and some of these other sellers, Vendetta, that constantly, they make sure their websites are up to date all the time. You find these smaller ones, because this bag here, perfect example. This was the original bag I bought to do a review on. Gold Spot was $85. Gold Spot was $85 when I bought this bag, and the bag cost $100 with free shipping. It sat on my shelf for a while, then I decided, well, I'm not going to do a review on it, and I put it to the side. And then I think a month ago, I said, well, let me look again when gold was at 95 or whatever it was. I said, well, let me look again. They still had it for $100. I said, let me grab one. So I had a secret shopper buy that one as well. So those are the Paydirts to find, these little hidden gems, So this one probably won't be 100% ROI, but anyone who bought one after my video, because gold went up from there, because I think Gold Spot was 104 when my video came out. So you grabbed some, Wesley. So hopefully everyone gets shipped. So like I said, there's a lot of sellers who, and I don't blame them if, all of a sudden you get 100 orders in for Paydirt you don't actually have, and you only got 10 in stock, Even Amazon does it, Walmart does it. So hopefully a lot of people get some of those bags in, because those were a really good find, which is why I do these reviews. I don't, a lot of times I look for the bad Paydirts, but I'm also always really looking for those, those hidden gems that'll make you mad money. So I went on right after I saw the video and it showed sold out. Well, it depended. You had to go to, it was secret. I put a link to it. It was kind of hidden. You had to go to their custom bags and ask them for a custom bag, and it was hidden in the custom bags. I don't know why they had it set up like that. So wait, what? Where's BA? Oh, talking about Nightbot. Okay, I was wondering what you were talking about. I was like, what? Who's going to jail? I'm not taking a $10,000 fine. Yeah. Yeah. I know. So I have had sellers before contact me, like where I've done a video and they've got a whole flood of stuff where they've contacted me and been like, thank you, dude. Thanks for helping out. We didn't, we never knew about your channel, but thank you for that. So you follow the link. Because I had a couple of people contact me after the video and they managed to get some, obviously. So mine shipped already. Well, there you go, Wesley. So that's good. Hopefully, I'm really hoping they honor it. And usually a lot of companies, especially smaller companies, they don't want the negative feedback. So they'll ship it and they'll eat that little bit of money, because it wasn't a huge amount. They weren't selling these bags for $60 and giving you a gram of gold. They're going to lose $10 on every single bag, but you sell 20 bags, you lose $200, but you gained, 20 new customers. So, and also those 20 new customers will probably come back when they restock and put gold in that they're going to make a profit off of. So, hopefully. And Wesley, so I have been talking all month. This is just before we go pan out. Let me explain to everyone. I am an old man. I might not look like an old man, but I am a very old man and my mind is very feeble. I wasn't too smart to start off with, and now that I'm getting older, I'm definitely not as smart. My mind tends to wander. So I have a spreadsheet, a calendar on my laptop upstairs that I go by that tells me, what review to shoot each week, what reviews are coming next month. I have all the way till January 1st. I have what reviews I'm going to do, what Tuesday night shows I'm going to do, everything like that. When my Patreon live shows are, when my Patreon announcements are going to be, all that stuff till the end of the year. And for whatever reason, this month, I had it marked as 5 Saturdays, because I do one video, then I skip a week, then I do a video, then I skip a week, then I do a video. So on weeks where I have 5 Saturdays, I managed to put out 3 videos. And for whatever reason, I had this month as 5 weeks, and that 5th week was supposed to be the Flower Gold Wizard Sluice. And the reason why I take breaks in between each week is because my new kid schedule with my kids. I have my kids one week, I don't have them another week. And the week I have my kids, transferring my son to school back and forth, and my daughter going to do stuff with her, I don't have time to shoot a video and edit it. And what happens is I tend to mess up the videos, because I'll start shooting it, have to leave, come back the next day and start shooting it. So I don't know if the Flower Gold Wizard is going to make it this Saturday, because in my mind it was going to happen next Saturday, which would still somehow be this month, and it was not. 14 days from now is not going to be this month. I don't know how I messed up my calendar, because it's just a handwritten calendar on a spreadsheet. So I'm going to try to shoot it Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. But if not, I'm going to stuff it in next month somehow. So, and yes, they might do that again, Mark. It is one thing I am definitely worried about. David Dandorian has it going. It's with the government. We're about to get an additional $4 to $5 trillion added to our deficit. That's not good. Countries are selling our bonds at an alarming rate, and gold is going up and up and up, so they might do what they did before, give us all your gold. I mean, they did pay everyone for the gold. They did pay everyone. They paid everyone what spot price was, but, they just wanted it off the market. So then, they could try to help the dollar out. So I don't think they could do it now just because there's so many, people with guns. But you never know. Just hit 100 subs. Well, there you go. Awesome. Congratulations. It's okay. We got a slight slowdown. It is much needed. Yeah. So I'm going to try and fit it in. If I don't get it out this Saturday, I'm going to shoot it and stuff it in next month somehow. Because I think I have one fluff video coming out next month. So I can shoot both of those in the same week. We'll do that. I can shoot 2 of them in 1 week. So if I don't get it out Saturday, it is an easier video. It just depends. This week is unfortunately my son's finals. So I've got to kind of hunker down with him and make sure he's learning stuff. So yep. And China is buying up tons and tons of gold. So a couple countries are. Germany is buying up a ton of gold again. Hey, Sean, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. But yeah, and just on the way, if you see anyone in chat that you're not subscribed to, the very high odds everyone in chat has a channel. So if you see someone and you're like, man, I'm not subscribed to Chasing Cheddar, go over to their channel, subscribe to them. And why is my OBS freaking out again? Subscribe to them. Make sure. Here, let me close everything up. So go subscribe to everyone that's in the show if you haven't already. Subscribing to every channel is free. Doesn't cost you a penny, And everyone appreciates it, including me. So if you see somebody and you're like, oh man, I've never subscribed to the Gold Baron, go subscribe to him. I'm sure he would really appreciate your subscription. So, and especially since he's not going to charge you for it. It's free. It's YouTube. So Jason E. Miner, how's it going? Well, I appreciate you lurking. I really do. So, all right. Oh yeah. And another thing, talking about my feeble mind. We might as well talk about my feeble mind. So all month, I've been telling everyone this is going to be my Arizona month. This is pretty much going to be nothing but Arizona Paydirt. And then I went and did Miner's Catch, which was a California Paydirt. And the reason I did that was because I had a secret shopper a while back order some Brian Thomas Gold Arizona Paydirt. This is his 2.5 gram bag. The only problem is I forgot to mark down what Gold Spot was, what they paid for it, everything. And I, for the life of me, can't figure out who my secret shopper was. I went through all my emails. But unfortunately, beginning of the month, I think I told everyone at the beginning of the month or late last month, my hosting site was telling me my email was full. So I had to delete a ton of emails. And a lot of them were secret shopper emails. A lot of them were my sent emails. I just bulk eliminated everything. So I have no idea who I got this through. I don't know who my secret shopper was. I don't know what they paid for it. I don't know what spot price was. So I came down here to shoot the video and I was like, duh. And I was like, well, I can't shoot this because I have no information, Dylan. So then I was like, well, I might as well do the Miner's Catch. So I shot the Miner's Catch, which Miner's Catch was supposed to be next month. I was going to be doing Miner's Catch next month, so I have to fill that spot. So, but again, when you get old, and you try to change things. Because everything I used to do used to be on paper. I used to have all my things. I used to keep paper, stacks of paper with every paydirt, everyone I'd buy. As soon as it'd come in, I'd write it down. And I was like, man, that's archaic. I should just start putting everything on my computer, on my, my hard drive, and just swap it from laptop to laptop. That's so much easier. Yeah. Except for with paper, I know to write it down because I have a stack of papers on my desk. And when a paydirt comes in, I order it at my secret shop, I write it down. Not so much when it's on the computer. I kind of like, oh, I'll do that later today, when I get on my computer, and I forget. So, Beermans, how's it going? How's it going, Rich? I see you've been taking a nap before. You definitely take that nap, brother. Definitely take that nap. So, Glenn Timmons, how's it going, brother? Been a while. Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. I appreciate everyone for being here tonight. I really do. Thank you all for being here. G-Man Gold Digger, how's it going? Big storms. Yeah, we've been having some storms, but they've been really quick and on and off, so it's pretty good. Not filling up my pit too much, so I'm really worried. Because if you saw the video, I put all the dirt right next to the pit, so I'm really worried that everything that I dug up is just going to get washed right into that hole, and then I'm going to have to buy dirt anyway, which I don't want to do. So we'll have to see. But anyway, let's get rid of the ugly mug. Go pan some paydirt. If we do the miner's catch really quickly, I might pan out this AZ bag tonight too, because I kind of need the gold. Because every month, again, if you're a Patreon member, you know this, I give away gold at the end of the month, every month. And I also have $79 tier members who get guaranteed bags of Paydirt, which means I need to, every month, pan out X amount of Paydirt with X amount of gold so I can fulfill my Patreon's lust for gold, their gold fever, and I have to. And this month I had planned on having a 2.5 gram bag in there, and instead I swapped it out for a 1 gram. So I don't know if we have time or not. I've been doing a lot of talking. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll start panning it. We might not finish it, but anyway, let's shrink down the ugly mug. Start doing some. Have you ever panned a Bear Prospect treasure bucket? No, I didn't know they had a treasure bucket. I did not know that. I saw they did have like the seashell bucket, the buckets that they added a whole bunch of stuff to. But here, while you're all staring at me, I'm going to look them up and see. Because the last time I looked at Bear Prospecting, they were sold out of everything. Yeah, see, I think the bucket, like if you're talking about the treasure hunter's bucket, does it actually have anything in it? I thought it was just the bucket. I thought you were just buying the pretty bucket. Oh. I did not know that. See, I just thought they were pretty buckets that they had hand decorated and were charging a little bit more for. But no, I have not panned those out or reviewed them. Generally, I try to stick away, and I'll tell you, I generally try to stay away from anything with no guarantee. You tend to not be happy without a guarantee. Now, I think you probably would be decently happy with Bear Prospecting. I tend to like Bear Prospecting. I think they're really good sellers. But just personally, I try to stay away from it. But I do see they do have some stock. They have their 1/4 gram and their 1/2 gram. And their cub is out of stock and their 1 gram. But no, I did not know that. I'll have to pay attention to that. Maybe I'll grab one day just to pan off camera or something, or maybe I will. But yeah, I did not know that. I just saw it and just thought it was a pretty bucket. I didn't even read the description or anything. So thank you for letting me know that. Maybe I should start reading some more, but it hurts my brain. So I did a live last night. It was fun. Only thing available. Oh, that's good. Did you enjoy it? How much gold did you get out of it? So, hey, Crash, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't have any here, but my new gold-plated dimes. My new Patreon members are going to start getting the new gold-plated dimes. Old Patreon members, you're still going to get them eventually when I'll swap out your old ones for your new ones as I get them. It's your brain, yeah. So I'm just having a hard time. I finally punched the holes in all of them. That took me forever because the cards come with now the hole, and I've got to manually punch the holes. And, I didn't pre-think this out too well when I thought of the cards. So I will do I will be sending everyone the new gold-plated dimes. If you're already a Patreon member, you'll get one eventually. So as long as you stay a Patreon member. So, the canopic Paydirt jars were a hit. Well, that's good. Has placer gold, gemstones, fossil coins, lots of different things. Dorothy Rich. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's so funny because I just saw that and I thought $50 for that bucket was still a decent price, and I didn't even think there was anything in it because I just figured, hey man, that's a handcrafted bucket. And I think in one of my shows recently, I even said that Bear Prospecting was out of stock, but they had some cool buckets for sale. I was like, I would have paid $50 just for the bucket. That's how silly I am. So, all right, Wesley, thank you for popping in. Go eat. We might be here when you get back. I appreciate you popping in. So, all right, let me shrink down the ugly mug. We're going to go do some panning. So, there's that. Pan out this bag of Paydirt. So, give me a second to move everything around. And then if one of my mods wants to, or all of my mods want to drop the hidden link, I would appreciate it. While I'm setting everything up, getting my tablet ready and all that so I can read chat and not just ignore y'all. Found a lot of silver. Yeah. Well, now, do you DVD your live shows? Because if you want to post a link to it in chat, or one of my mods want to post a link to it, I definitely want to watch that later. Because now I'm curious. Yeah. All right, I just need to set up my tablet so I can catch up on chat. Steven Stark, how's it going? All right, let me just find my own YouTube channel. See if I actually, I actually popped up. First time in a search. Oh, and I get an ad. Dang you. Dang you, making myself money. So, couple things before we start panning. Make sure one of my mods just dropped the hidden link. Make sure you go leave a comment. So at the end of the show, I might pick your name and you will get a 1 in 8 chance. I had to adjust it. I don't know what, I even think I said it last week in my last Tuesday. I had no clue why I made it 7 spots. And the reason why is, again, because I was, mentally stunted at birth, and it made it so I messed up this month's calendar and had too many days and too many Saturdays and too many Tuesdays in this month. I threw in an extra Tuesday and Saturday, so, which still doesn't explain why I did it, but we're going to have 8 spots, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a second place. So first place will still get the 1.6 ounce Cajun Bullion silver bar. And then for second place, I will have a 6.7. It's kind of bright on there. Copper round from Cajun Bullion. So I have a second place is a 6.7 ounce Cajun round. First place will be a 1.6 ounce silver bar. So those will be from Cajun Bullion. We're going to have 8 spots. So spot number 7 will be this week. Spot number 8 will be next week. And then when I do my patron appreciation show on the following Tuesday, we'll give away to all my Patreon members, and we'll also give away these prizes to people who have been watching me. So, yeah. Who won last week? Oh, you can still enter. You can still enter. I haven't had anyone. We've only had a couple times where people have won 2 spots. It used to be just Patreon members could get in again, but might as well enter. Because after this one, this is going to be the last time I do just big prizes. And because after this one, we're just going to go to weekly giveaways where I'm going to give away gold-plated dimes or little pieces of gold or something. So, Pint-Sized Panners, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Brad Welch, thank you for joining the show. So, yeah, you can grab a second spot. Don't worry. Like I said, all you have to do is make sure you're here at the end of the show. So if I do pull your name, you can get it. This blue one, Amazon. If you go to my website, KC, just hit the shop button, and I have all the stuff I use in my videos. It does have an Amazon affiliate link on it, and I will make, I think, 45 cents if you get the pan through me. But if you don't want to do that, it's just the Martin Prospecting. You can just Google it. Martin Prospecting 4-stage. This is their 10-inch. They have a 10-inch and a 12-inch. This is a 10-inch. So. Yeah, I could do another one. I could do like Pioneer Poly and all the rest of them, because if I wait, I guess like a year, because every year somebody does the whole, like, oh, there's gold in sand, every single big prospecting person does it about every year. One person will just take it to the next level, and this year was, or within the last couple of months, was Pioneer Poly. So maybe that's what I'll do next year. I'll be like, I'm buying 2 dump trucks worth of sand to pan out, Yeah. Scott Junkins, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. So here we go. I'm hoping, honestly, just to repair the pit. I don't want to mess with it too much. I don't want to try and fill it. Filling it, dirt is expensive. I mean, I still need to get gravel for my driveway, and that's looking like $600, $700 just to put, gravel in my driveway. Filling that hole would, cost me a good $2,500, which, I got better things to spend $2,500 on. So here we go. Let me check it. Oh, I only got my cheap little magnet here, but as you can see, lots and lots of black sands, lots of magnetics. So it was, I will say, this stuff was much tougher than I thought it would be. It was really surprising. Not only surprising that the ROI was so good, I kind of knew it would be, because they were selling it for $100, guaranteeing a gram of gold, and gold spot being $100. So, but typically tourist places or even mining places tend to make their paydirt pretty easy. They don't usually make them too hard. Even A and B Prospecting, Miners Depot, all of them, they tended to be on the easier side, than the hard side. Miners Depot is a little bit difficult, but this one, really surprising how much fine gold was in it. So, Plow Dog, how's it going, brother? Been a while. Merv Miller, how's it going? Thanks for joining the show. Man, you got a cool name. Miller. Man, that's a cool name. Awesome name. Meandering Mark, how's it going? Thank you. I appreciate you popping in. Yeah. Tomcat Josh, how's it going? By an earth full of sand. Yeah. But what you gonna do? But yeah, so 2 things upcoming, or a couple things upcoming. I do have my Paydirt will be up for sale tomorrow. At some point, I will put an early announcement so everyone, again, can go check their couch cushions, ask their spouses, hey, can I dump some money on this Paydirt? That's super cool. And then, and be ready for it. And the way it's going to work, here, let me just grab my notes. Because in case you missed earlier in the show, my brain is mush and I need to write stuff down. So, So the way it's going to work this time is typically I just make a post and it's a free for all. Everyone just grabs some and, you know, they get what they want and move on. But this time I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to make Paydirt available for each tier. So the $5, if you're a $5 tier member, there will only be 5 bags available or 5 jars available. 4 of them will be 1 gram, and then a 5th one will be 2 grams. If you're a $10 tier member, there will be 6 available, and then 1 will be so 7 total, 6 1 grammers and 1 2 grammer. And then if you're a $25 or $79 tier member, there will be 8 available plus 2 2 grammers. So, and then if they're not sold out within 24 hours, like if some don't buy them all, then I'll make them available to everybody after 24 hours. So just so I can make sure everyone in every tier grabs them or has an opportunity to grab them. I couldn't think of a different way to do it. I kind of wanted to have a way to make it so the longer you'd been a Patreon member, you'd get first dibs at it. But Patreon, unfortunately, has no real system to do that. And I couldn't think of a way to do it. So. And yes, you are, Aaron Mack. You are still in and you could put in a comment for the hidden video and get a second chance. So yes, you are. We're going to have, so tonight is going to be spot number 7. Next Tuesday will be spot number 8. And then the following Tuesday during my Patreon live show, we'll do the drawing and we'll do the silver bar. So yeah. A gold rat Paydirt. That's Australian, right? That's the Australian Paydirt. I don't know if I've done them or not. I always forget which Australian Paydirts I've done. Because Australian Paydirts, and since I don't pay attention to them as closely as I do to, you know, ones that I can conveniently buy here with Secret Shoppers, I don't, they seem to always close and reopen new ones more often, you know, so. But I know the site. I know in my back of my head, I can see their site and I know what their Paydirt bags look like. So, yeah, Australian. So that's what I thought. So they have a couple really cool Australian Paydirts I want to try. I saw one the other day. And I was like, man, I don't remember what it was, but I saw the Paydirt and I was like, man, I need to get this. And I looked and I was like, oh, it's Australian. And I was like, please, please. And yeah, they didn't ship to the United States. I was like, dang it. No worries, Aaron. No worries, brother. And you don't have to be in attendance. Once your name is on there, I will hunt you down. Like, you know, Liam Nielsen and Taken, you know, to get you your prize. So you don't have to actually be at the show. You did all the work watching the live show, sticking till the end to get your name announced. And then that's it. Once, if you win it, I will find you and, you know, I'll see you eventually in a show and tell you, oh, send me your address, whatnot, no matter who it is, and make sure you get your prize. So, all right, G-Man. Appreciate you popping in. You know. So, yeah, and then later tonight, hopefully later tonight, it might be really late, though, so you might not see the video till tomorrow, will be part 2 of my Oak Island adventure. Part 3, I might, you know, originally I was only going to do 3 parts. I'd shot, you know, I shot part 2 yesterday. So Sunday I shot part 1, posted it, and then, or was it Saturday? And then Monday I did part 2. And originally I was just going to do a 3rd part, but I might actually listen to some people here. I might actually go magnet fishing in my hole if it doesn't rain too much. So it was supposed to rain today, and it just kind of rained for like an hour. So I might have to look into that. I got my magnets out already, so I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, man, if I find anything in there, it's gonna be a better deal than those Oak Island people. You know, that's why I kept referencing. It's just a money pit. It's just a money pit. It's just, you know, you tell yourself there's treasure in it. There's treasure. I know there's treasure. You know. Put up a short on YouTube of the gold I got still in the pan. All right, I'm gonna have to go here. Let me make these notes. I need to get my pen. Hold on a second. I'm gonna make these notes to go watch these videos. Because if not, I will forget. And you may catch an ancient catfish. That wouldn't be too bad. I'm near Detroit and it's raining. Give me a little drain field basin. Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going? Get anything with you tumbling? Anything good? No. I see gold spots back going up and down, up and down. It's doing the little yo-yo still. I was really hoping gold would settle down, but it's just being such a yo-yo. And it's just because all these countries are buying and selling everything. Markets are going crazy. You know. What's up, Weezen? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it. And I appreciate all my mods being here tonight. I really do appreciate y'all keeping this rowdy bunch under control. I appreciate everyone that pops in, watches the show, watches me pan. Look at my ugly mug in between the panning. So only the rich get richer. Yep. Yeah, everyone knows that. So you got to have money to make money, you know. That's why it was one of my favorite parts in the movie is the one, what is the movie, Get Hard or whatever, with the little short black comedian and Will's, where he's going to prison, or the guy's going to go to, the white collar crime guy's going to go to prison, and he's talking to his boss, and he's like, oh yeah, I made this whole company by myself with just a small $10 million loan from my dad. You know. It is, Dorothy. Y'all are just so hard to handle. I don't know how they do it. But I was telling my kids that not too long ago. I said, once you get to a certain amount of wealth, it's so hard to lose wealth. And the only reason that, like family money ever disappears is just because it gets split so much. Because if you've got $1 billion in the bank, the interest on it alone, no matter, you couldn't spend it fast enough. You just cannot spend it fast enough to go broke. I mean, you would have to seriously just try to give it away, and you couldn't even do that. That's why you see a lot of these people like the Amazon CEO, the owner of Amazon, when his wife, now, just to get back at him, she's just giving money away left and right. And her net worth has not gone down a single dollar, even though she's giving away millions and millions of dollars every week to all kinds of charities and this and that and this and that. Because you're making so much, So, and the only reason, like I said, that family wealth goes down is because, if you're worth $1 billion, then you die and you pass that on to your kids. They each only get $500 million. Then if they each have 2 kids and they pass on, then, because they're not really making money if you're just kind of just staying stagnant and you're just living off the, family money. So, oh, is it KC? All right, I'll go fix that in a second. There we go. I'm not seeing any fine gold in this bag, which is really weird. So maybe it's at the bottom of the pan. Who knows? But here we go. Let me go fix that. So these cheating mods. All right, let's see. All right, thank you for pointing that out, Casey. You notice my mods didn't tell me that. They were trying to get that last spot. All right. Everyone's through there, but I will double check before the end of the video just to make sure. Thanks again, KC. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing with I was telling, I used to read a lot about space, I like space stuff. And just the distance from people cannot fathom the distance from like us to the moon or the sun because it's just so big of a number. And it's the same thing with a million and a billion, you know. Not even worried about being filthy rich. Oh, and Ortiz, how's it going? Good thing you got home. 308 Prospecting, how's it going? I'm doing good. Hopefully you are too. Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up poor, and typically, if you grow up like if you grow up rich, there's not a single rich person that grew up rich was like, man, I wish we were poor. That doesn't happen. But if you grow up poor, a lot of people tend to be like, man, when I get up, I'm never gonna, this is never gonna happen to me. I'm gonna be driving a Porsche. I'm never gonna have to, eat mac and cheese again or ramen soup, and I'm gonna have some. I was never like that. I didn't, material things never really took a shine to me. I mean, I like the shiny. I will say I do like gold, but I've never wanted, fancy cars or trucks or big houses, and didn't need to go to the airport with a Louis Vuitton suitcase or any of this stuff. I'm fine. And I like to bargain hunt. Like it's funny. Like my kids always joke at me. So I looked up like I like the comfort of some shirts, but the shirts from the company were like $30 a piece. So I just found out who their manufacturer was, and then I would just buy those shirts direct from them. No logo, it's the same shirt, exact same thing, but it only cost me $6 for the t-shirt. So, well, I pay 25 extra bucks just to have the tag on the back of it say somebody's name. So I like my 20-cent cup of noodles. Yeah. It's funny. I have things of ramen. I have all kinds of ramen, different ramen soups all over my house. I like to make my own ramen soups, but a lot of times I'm just like, man, I did quick meal, boil some water, good old ramen soup, And the good thing about it is my doctors make me take so many sodium pills. I can afford to have that, not worry about my blood pressure. Yeah, those medicines have me peeing every 30 minutes, so. Yeah. I have a buddy of mine, a good buddy of mine. He's got his lake cabin, when they go to it during this summer, like, on the weekends. I think it's like they go one weekend a month during the summer, fall and spring, but during winter they never go. So they probably use it, like 8 times a year, How's the well doing? Later tonight, as soon as I make the thumbnail. As soon as this video's over, as soon as this live show's over, I've got to finish making up the Paydirts. That'll be for sale tomorrow. And I've got to make the thumbnail for the video, upload it to YouTube. But it's only 6 minutes, so it shouldn't take too long to upload to YouTube. It's just going to be... I might have to generate an image because I didn't take one. And by the time this show's over, it might be too dark to shoot a picture outside, so... I have to just make a cartoon type image or something for the thumbnail or something, reuse the old one. So time to start the tacos. All right. I know can't wait till Tuesday. I was looking forward to, so I typically don't have my kids on Tuesdays. So we never get to do Taco Tuesdays on actually Tuesday, so. But they're starting summer vacation. We're switching up our schedule for the summer again. It's just essentially it's the same schedule, just a little bit longer each week. Because right now I have my kids where I don't have them, where I have them for 5 days, and I don't have them for 5 days, then I have them for 3 days, and I don't have them for 3 days. So this one's just gonna be week on, week off, just for the summer. So I'll actually have them on some Tuesdays. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Tuesdays when I have my live show and my kids. They're either going to have to eat early, which I don't like to do, or they're going to have to eat very late. So we'll have to see. Everybody, at some point we're going to get to tacos, Ed. Fox Rider, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show, and thank you for being a Patreon member, one of my newer Patreon members. And thank you all to all my Patreon members. I really do appreciate y'all. Y'all make it so I can do these videos. So think that's why I work so hard in life now. Don't want to be poor. Crash. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame anyone if that's what they want to do. By all means, everyone should do what makes them happy. If having lots of money makes you happy, by all means, make a ton of money. It was just one thing I was never interested in, so I never really, like even when I made a ton of money, I mean, because I've made a lot of money before. I used to work for some really good restaurants that paid me a lot of money, and I worked a lot of hours, and generally just went to drinking. I was like, okay, now I can just drink more expensive wines. Like when I was in California and making horrendous amounts of money, I, just drinking $100 bottles of wine every night instead of a $20 bottle of wine. Instead of going and getting the $2 chuck, we were getting, $40 bottles of wine. And, once a week we might get a Silver Oak or something, But I know, I will tell you, I have only once ever eaten out of a food truck. And it drives me absolutely crazy because I want to eat more food truck food. But whenever I have to go somewhere that's going to be food trucks, it's just like, I just end up not going to that place. So, or I get there too late and all the food trucks have closed for the day, But I need to start, maybe this summer. Maybe that's what I'll do with my son this summer. Start doing more food truck hunting. They have a lot of good Mexican food trucks here nowadays in Indiana. I don't know why, but there's been getting a lot more food trucks around lately. So, I heard a cabin only. I just purchased my family's cabin. Yeah, it's if you can get one. We were more talking about like the the very expensive ones. The hoity-toity cabins. I used to talk to this girl in Wisconsin. That's when she bought a little bitty cabin on a lake, which was funny. And she got it for like 10 grand. She got it for like 10 grand because that's it was 15 grand, but it needed a septic tank for 10 grand. And she was like, why pass up that kind of deal? She was like, and she had, when she bought it, they gave her 3 years to put in the septic system. So she was like, I only go there like, she was going there one day a month or something like that. She'd just go up there to relax. She's like, she just had a porta potty there. She's like, I just bring a porta potty put there. She's like, it'll be there for 3 years before I do that. And then once she put it in there, it'd be worth, $200,000. Yeah, that's the problem with food trucks is, food trucks were never really, really cheap. They were always a little bit more, but it was kind of usually a good deal, but that's just anything with food nowadays. It's just so expensive. I was telling my kids the other day, I was like, one of the things I really watch a lot on YouTube is, I love Japanese cooking, like real Japanese, real Chinese cooking. And, it's amazing. You'll see them making these huge, like I saw one yesterday. I was watching a store yesterday on, YouTube where they made a 1 pound ramen soup where it had a pound of noodles and meat and stuff in it plus the broth and stuff. $4 USD. And I'm like, this isn't like Thailand or India or something where you're gonna get dysentery and die. So you're like, okay, $4, you're taking your life in your hands. This is Japan, middle of downtown, $4 for a meal that will keep you full the whole day. And I'm like, man, why cannot we do this here? There's, we should be able to do that here. We are one of the wealthiest countries in the world. We should be able to have ramen stores where you could get a giant meal for $4. No. I sure didn't pay that. Yep. Yeah, I tell my kids all the time. I've been saying it over the last couple of weeks. My daughter, she's in contract now for her house. The last house she put a contract in fell through because they didn't want to fix stuff that needed to be fixed. So she's under contract for a new house. They're saying they're going to fix the stuff because needs a new roof, and they're supposed to be putting a new roof on it. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. But I tell my kids all the time, if there's one thing you want to buy early in life, it's property, because they can't make more of it, until we can start going to Mars and colonate Mars, which ain't gonna be in my lifetime or my kid's lifetime. Property, We have a great one that is Filipino food. 14 for the brisket, grilled cheese. Yeah, I mean, usually, like my son, he went to the skate park this weekend. He was over, and I was working on my Oak Island pit, and he wanted to go skate downtown at the skate park. So I gave him $15, and he came home, and he was still full from lunch because he ate lunch there from a food truck. Because that he had a brisket sandwich, and he was like, dude, it was packed. He was like, I'm still full. It just depends, Some food trucks, you have to watch them, you have to like watch somebody else get food from a food truck. You can't be like the first person to go up there and be like, oh yeah, give me that, I want that, $20, and then walk away with that little tray and be like, wow, I just bought a little finger sandwich with some fancy name, and I'm gonna be full 2 minutes. I'm gonna be hungry in 2 minutes. You got to see somebody else walking away, and you want to see like a tray packed with food and be like, okay, that's worth $15. Mentally Corrupted, how's it going? A little picker. This is a pretty little one. Oh, this is a crystalline. Let's see if I can get y'all. Oh, hold on. I got my thing down. Hold on. There we go. Couldn't see my camera. But a little piece of crystalline gold with some quartz in it. If I can get it to sit on my finger. Really cute. It's a nice piece. It's not going to weigh too much, though. Let me get my sounding board. Got a nice piece of quartz in it, so I'm guessing probably only weighs like 0.15, somewhere around there, but it's nice. And this bag, like I said, I'm not seeing much fine gold in this one. But I did buy this one probably 6 months before my last one that I reviewed. Ooh, wait, $40, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. You got to really watch them. Some food trucks, it depends on your area. Because if you have a ton of food trucks, then they got to be competitive. They got to do what they can. It's like I said, typically I've noticed most of the food trucks, when I see the ones around here, the prices that I follow on Facebook, it's the ones that sound fancy are expensive and you don't get much food. Like I would never go to a food truck to order foie gras, hamburger, because you're going to pay $50 for something you're not going to like that much, But I know my son had told me last time he went to the skate park, they had a truck there that was doing barbecued brisket or barbecue beef or pork, maybe barbecue pork, French fries. And he was telling me it was a big old, like one of those styrofoam containers, the big lunch ones. It was just packed with fries and that. So, which is really weird that they don't make more, to me, French fries would be always the base. Like in New Orleans, what we used to do is, since po' boys are so popular in New Orleans, you would always have, you'd go to all the real po' boy places, not the ones in the French Quarter, but like the ones in the little hole in the wall place that, if you don't know what's there, you wouldn't even know it. that just the locals know. You'd go in there, and so like when I was growing up, a ham and cheese po' boy or a roast beef po' boy, foot long would probably cost you $5. But then you could get a French fry po' boy where it was just French fries, and they put the roast beef gravy on it and then bread. That was it, and it'd be like $2. And that way they knew people that were broke, waiting on, Fridays or, or Thursday, they're waiting on that Friday check down to the last $2. Could eat a big meal and be loaded up, And then, Friday would come around, they'd come back, and the next day they'd order the nicer thing. They'd get the hot ham and cheese or something for $6, Yeah. That's what I always figured, That's what there used to be a show. I think it's still on. It's called the Food Truck Race. I think it's still on the Food Network. And I used to watch it during the first couple seasons of it. And almost every time the food trucks that would always win were generally food trucks that were doing food that they were giving the people a lot of stuff. Like it wouldn't just be the hamburger place. Like the hamburger places would do good. They'd come into like the top 5 or something like that. But it was always like the people that were doing like, like I said, barbecue pork on French fries. So these people would get these big old plates. And if you're waiting, like, because that's what they would do. They'd do a competition. They'd line up all 10 trucks. They'd bring a crowd of 100 people and tell them, go buy food. And the people would look. And if you see some dude coming away with this like little bitty tray this big with a couple little, it's a tiny little 2-tine fork. And another dude coming out with a giant ladle and, a big old tray of food, you're going to be like, hey, for $10, I'm getting the big old thing of food, Shrimp po' boy is my fave too. That's my absolute fave. I still make them every once in a while. And now that you're making me think about it, I might make myself one tomorrow when I go to the grocery store. But sadly, my kids just don't like shrimp and it drives me crazy. Because doing certain foods is not like price efficient for solo people. So if I want like a shrimp po' boy tomorrow, I've got to get the French bread, got to get the shrimp, and everything else I kind of have, the lettuce, tomatoes, and all that. But I'm only going to eat one thing. So then the rest of the bread's going to end up going to waste, So. And Gold Marine, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I could do a fried oyster po' boy every once in a while, but most of the time in New Orleans, I'd get either the ham and cheese, hot ham and cheese, or the shrimp po' boy, depending on what day of the week it was. Fridays was always the shrimp po' boy because I just got paid working construction. But early in the week, it'd be the ham and cheese. You did miss. There was a bigger piece of gold. We'll get to it. We'll show it again in a minute. Really nice one. No, and then if I was out at like a nicer po' boy place, like if we were sitting down, like a, fancier one, like if I went there on a date or something, then I might get the oyster po' boy every once in a while. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. See? This is a little bitty wee one. I guess it's got a really nice looking. It's got a nice piece. It's wrapped around. It's like kind of wrapped around a piece of quartz. So probably doesn't weigh too much because it does have a little bit of quartz in there. But nice little piece. Someone will eventually get it in a bag of my Miller Prospecting Paydirt. So got to have the right kind of bread. Yeah, that's the one thing that really sucks about like being here. Is I can get French bread, but it's just not the same as like down south French bread, Here it's, like the Walmart version of French bread, which is, not anything like the same thing. So, and then they have like the take and bake French breads, but those aren't the same. So, because the way they did it was you kind of got to get the fresh French bread that then has been sitting in the place since like 4 a.m. when they opened, because that's when their delivery was. And it's just been sitting out until like noon when you get it. It's that 6-hour crust that builds up on the bread, as it starts, just outside starts to go stale. So can't afford oysters. Yeah, I don't eat oysters anymore just because I don't trust our waterways anymore. And oysters can hold a lot of bacteria. So yeah, most French breads aren't, just aren't good. They're just like American version of it. We think this is what French bread is supposed to be. And what's funny is like in a lot of the touristy places in New Orleans, like the real touristy ones, in the French Quarter, they don't even use good French bread. They just use whatever's the cheapest stuff they can get. And people will go there and be like, oh, I had a French po' boy and it was so good. And it's like, yeah, if you'd have gotten one, on Annunciation Street or, one of these other little bitty, Ninth Ward places, it'd be 10 times better. You'd really know what good food was. A specimen can be worth more. Yeah, this one's a little bit too small. It's like 0.15, Generally anything gold related, if it's under a gram, it's really hard to get a premium on it. I follow a lot of auctions on eBay all the time, just to keep up on like what nuggets are selling for and stuff like that. And generally, unless it's really from Australia, that's the only time I really see anything under a gram getting any type of premium on it or people paying over spot. Because generally, like if I saw like if a 1/4 gram nugget went up for sale on eBay, it'd probably sell for right at spot with free shipping. So the seller is going to lose 12% on it. They're going to end up having sold it for 12% less than spot. But Aussie nuggets, even the smaller ones like a 1/4 gram, will tend to sell like a buck or two higher than spot, depending on size. Lived in Paris, France in 84 and 85. Lucky you, lucky you. I've been there. There's some good memories from being in Paris. Hey, Joe Murrow, how's it going? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it. Wildcat prospecting. I bake all our bread. Yeah, that's... Me and my daughter were talking about that the other day about she wants to start baking bread, and I told her, oh, please. Then I can start coming over and mooching free bread off you all the time, Because I wanted to start making sourdough bread because I love sourdough bread, but then I was like, man, then I'm just going to be eating sourdough bread all the time and getting even fatter. So like, I better not. So I told my daughter, if she starts baking bread, then that's good because then I can be like, hey, make me an extra loaf and I can have one loaf a week, Whereas if I make it, I'm going to be making some every couple hours. Yeah, hole-in-the-wall places always have better food. Always. Well, okay. Now, they might not be the cleanest, but they'll have better tasting food, so. Mm. Like, all the places I remember, like, people would always go to buy hamburgers and stuff in the French Quarter, like, the good places. You knew they never cleaned the grill, because you would be there at 4 in the morning drinking, ordering the best hamburger you ever had. And you knew that chef, was also an alcoholic. You knew at the end of the night he was not cleaning that stove, King Arthur baking. Here, I'm going to write that down for my daughter. And thank you. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I can't do it because if I do it, like I said, I would just be because I love carbs and chocolate are my two weaknesses, and cheese. But if I started making my own bread, I would just every morning be like baking a loaf of bread and eating it, and I've been canning and preserving for a long time. Yeah. I never could get into canning. It's cool. I do have, and I've been working on, I've got the designs for my own little garden, but I think I've said it a couple times in the live shows. I want to get some chickens, but I can't do, like, I've got to have food where I just eat it and then bam. You need a Tesla bot to make your bread. Does Tesla have a bread making? I mean, I know they have bread making machines, but like I said, then I'll just eat more bread. That's why I can't do that. It's just like if all of a sudden I said, man, I want to learn how to make cookies from scratch. Then I'd start making cookies at home every night. There's a reason why I specifically never learned how to make cookies from scratch. Because if I learned how to make cookies from scratch, I would be making cookies every single night. You know, generally everything in my house that I keep to make for scratch is for like healthier foods. Like my pantry is stuffed with like fish cakes and different ramen noodles, like the healthy ramen noodles, not those prepackaged ones, which I do have those too. But like my whole bottom inside row on my fridge is all Japanese flavoring stuff, soy sauce and wasabi and miso for my soups and stuff. Because then, you know, at least if I'm like, oh, I really want to make something and I want some carbs, then I'll make, you know, ramen soup, and it's kind of healthy. So. Chocolate is my kryptonite. Yeah. For the cause. Thank you very much. It's going to go to my daughter's cause. So hopefully this house goes through. It's got a really nice, it's got a brand new kitchen in the house. So brand new stove, brand new fridge, big countertop. So she can fit a bread making machine on there, or not whatever they call it, the KitchenAid mixer. She can put a mixer on there so she can start mixing her dough and baking some bread for me. You also seal bread on the sides. Blue crabs are good. I do like blue crabs. I will take crab over lobster any day of the week. I'm going to set this aside. It kind of looks like, it really looks like mercury. Looks like a little splash of mercury. So I'm going to put this aside and look at it later. But I know this is from California dirt, and that looks like mercury. So it's so funny. Like, I think about all the stuff I used to do as kids, and I still do it now. But like eating raw cookie dough. Well, like when you're a kid, you know, making brownies and licking the utensils afterwards as a kid. Like nobody does that with their kids anymore. Like, oh, you might get salmonella. Yeah, so what? It's worth it. You just be sick for a day or two, but you know, I will take eating, you know, the little mixer beater. I will take licking that thing bone dry with, you know, from making a cake or brownies or something like that. For that 1 in 100th time, I get salmonella. You know, and they're sick for a day or two. Because, you know, I'm going to blame it on the spinach or something else. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That helps me so much more than me writing it down. Because you don't know how many times, like, I leave my studio on Tuesday nights and go upstairs, and then I forget that I even wrote all these notes down. Then I come down here like Thursday or Friday. I'm like, oh, yeah, here they all are. Need to try bread made on. Yeah, I ain't got all this kind of pellet grill. I'll tell my daughter. My daughter will be rich. She's got one more year, finish all her degrees. They make safe to eat cookie. That's no fun. That's no fun. I don't want safe to eat cookie dough. I get the Walmart store brand, great value cookie dough every once in a while, and I'll make cookies for my kids, and one for them, put it on the tray, one for me, eating it raw. I don't care. My wife saves the beaters in the bowl for me. Yeah, that's the best thing, you know? But like I said, you never do it. Like even me, like I don't make sweets too often because like I said, you know, I'll eat them all. But I remember not too long ago, I made something like brownies or cake or something. And I even thought, I was like, oh, let me give them. And I was like, oh no, they might get sick. Even though then I started licking them. I was like, oh well, they'll get sick. But, me with no immune system, maybe I should do it. I swear a couple of these things really look like mercury. I'm definitely going to have to go through this material again. Yeah. Like I said, that's no fun, Fox Rider. I want the chance of getting salmonella. But yeah, I have seen those. They're very expensive too. They're very expensive, which is, I think, it's always funny. You're like, oh, we took the eggs out, so now we got to charge you $2 extra. It's definitely a nice pan. Like I said, I really like this company, and it's sad that they are out of stock now. I'll have to definitely keep track of them and see when they. So I guess, what is it? They're coming back on the 27th or something. So at the end of the month, I'll definitely have to go look at their website again and see what they change. So, I mean, I'm guessing they might get rid of their 1 gram bag, or if they do keep their 1 gram bag, they'll definitely raise the price on it, unfortunately. So, cookie dough roulette, that's it. It's anything, brownies or cake mix, that was always the fun part, Your parents never, like when I was a kid, my parents never once were like, oh, I'm making a cake here. You want this? You might get salmonella. No, they would just, there you go. Even Rocky was just drinking raw eggs. All right. So, all finished up with this one. I am going to pan out some. We're not going to pan out the whole thing. We're just going to pan until 8 o'clock. But let me show you this. This is what I got. Put the little picker in the front. This is a miner's catch, 1 gram bag. But now we're going to pan out a little bit till 8 o'clock, because I need the gold out of it. We're going to pan out some of the Brian Thomas 2.5 gram. In case you missed earlier in the show, I am feeble in the mind, and I originally was supposed to be panning out this, or doing a review on this 2.5 gram this week. And unfortunately, I didn't know. I didn't know if I didn't remember the spot price. I didn't know what my secret shopper paid for it. In fact, I didn't even know who my secret shopper was. I still don't know who my secret shopper was. So if you're my secret shopper for this, let me know. Tell me what an idiot I am. Tell me what you paid and all that. But I need the gold from it, because I need gold for the end of the month for my Patreon. So we're going to pan a little bit of this out till 8 o'clock. Ben and Jerry's. I remember as a kid, it was so funny. Like, I remember as a kid, they used to have like Ben and Jerry's, actual physical stores you could go to. I mean, they still might in some places. And like the cookie places. What were the not the Mrs. Fields. They were Famous Amos. They used to have like the Famous Amos cookie stores you could go to. Now all that stuff is gone. This is definitely, I don't know if this definitely doesn't look like Arizona material. I don't know where, I have to look at the description for this. I know it's supposed to be Arizona gold, but this kind of just looks like the regular stuff. Brian Thomas. This looks like Brian Thomas's regular material. 7-Eleven. They don't even have any 7-Elevens by me. I don't even think there's any 7-Elevens in Indiana. Because my son, I remember we looked up once to see where the closest 7-Eleven was, because he wanted like some special Slurpee or something they had at one point. Ben and Jerry's cookie dough. I haven't had Ben and Jerry's ice cream in a long time. I have to admit, the only ice cream I ever really eat anymore is like the Halo Top. And it's not my favorite, but I can eat the whole pint and it's only like 200 calories and I don't feel as bad. Whereas if I got like Ben and Jerry's, it'd be like 1,000. No, no goal. Well, there's a picker. Anyone have TCBY? I think there is one here. I don't know. I would say yogurt went in and out of fad really, really quickly. Like I remember when every corner had a yogurt place on it. Like every single corner. I remember when we used to live, I think it was when we were living in Slidell, like right before I started my show. We used to go to, like right when they first started open, we'd go to one. And you'd think, oh yeah, let me just pour this on here, put my M&Ms and everything else like that on there, and you'd be like, $10. Ah, really? But then you'd go back because the kids were like, well, we want to go get yogurt tonight again, you know. Pickers, nose pickers. I went to one of the Ben and Jerry's stores. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's still a couple around because you're always, you know, they have an M&M store. So, you know, there's going to be some stores always around. But I remember when they were like really popular and they were everywhere, you know. Now, this is a hefty one. Here, let me get, there's my metal pan. Yeah, there's still some frozen yogurt places near me, but there's not as many as they used to be. This one's definitely 0.25 or something. So that's a little quarter grammer there. They're not as popular as they used to. Right now, it's kind of like the cookie dough places. You know, those I see those popping up all over the place. Mm. I was 10 last time I saw them. Yeah, like my favorite cookies to this day, my favorite cookies are Famous Amos. My favorite cookies are Famous Amos, and you can almost never find them anymore. But they're still my favorite chocolate chip cookies. And I remember as a kid, there was one area on Carrollton Street that they had the Famous Amos store, and you could go in there and get the Famous Amos cookies. And then when they closed, I didn't have them for like 10 or 15 years until I saw them. They start selling them in little boxes. Stone Cold ice cream. I like Stone Cold. The Stone Cold Creamery. Yeah. It's Capallo now. Huh. Oh, and since my mods are doing such an awesome job of posting the hidden link, make sure at some point you go to that link and leave a comment. This is spot number 7 of 8. And then next week will be spot number 8. Then the following week during my Patreon show, we will do the Patreon live show. I will give this away. It is a 1.6 ounce Cajun Bullion silver bar. So you'll have a 1 in 8 chance of winning that. And then for second place, I have this 6.7 ounce 999 copper Cajun round from, which is hard to see because of my lights, but copper round from Cajun Bullion as well. So make sure you leave a comment, and then you must stay till the end of the show, because if I call your name, you must say, woo, woo, I'm here, and post something in the live chat. So Bluebell. Yeah, Bluebell was always popular. I'm just assuming you're in the South. Shrimp po' boys and Bluebell ice cream. It was funny because one of the reasons why I really like my brother Cajun Bullion so much is because not only did I traded him some Paydirt for these silver bars so I could give them away and have a couple for my kids in their silver stack. But we were talking, and he's in the South, and I told him, man, if you want to throw some Hugh Big Pies in there. And he threw some Hugh Big Pies in there for me. So I haven't had Hugh Big Pies since I left New Orleans, 12 or 13 years ago. So that was so awesome. It's one of my things I love about New Orleans is some of their foods. Hugh Big Pies are one of them. Mm. King cakes you can get here, and like during Mardi Gras, you can pretty much get king cakes everywhere. They might not taste the same as like a Gambino's or something, but I can't do shrimp po' boys and stuff like that. But Hubig's pies I hadn't had in 15 years. It's so awesome. So huge shout out if you haven't already. Make sure you go hunt down Cajun Bully and subscribe to his channel. So I'm addicted to Paydirt. Yeah, I'm addicted to Paydirt too. This is live show number 190. So that means I've panned out 190 bags of Paydirt, at least 190 bags of Paydirt. Some shows like tonight I do 2. So 190 bags of Paydirt live. Not to mention the 340 Paydirt reviews. So pushing 600 bags of Paydirt. Yeah, I definitely, and that's just what I do on camera, So we got another little picker. That's a little bitty. Yeah, I'm guessing so you're kind of stepping up. There we go. We got they started as, and as they grow older and older and older. Louisiana Nero Nottaway. All right, brother. Yeah. That's where I'm from, is Louisiana, New Orleans. So I'm addicted to love. I think everyone is that too, but Mm. But it was funny because actually, speaking of still talking about Hubig's pies, I went to their website and I was like, man, maybe I can start getting the Hubig's pies sent to me. $60 for 12 of them. I was like, man, do I really want 12 Hubig pies? Because I'm just going to eat them all in like 2 days. And that's $60. That's like $30 a day. What you going to do? I'm going to build a Miller table. Yeah, never buy one. I've bought a few of them back in my day and reviewed a couple of them. And a lot of the ones you can buy, they're like, oh, yeah, this one's, plastic and ABS, and they just warp. Eventually, they all warp. Unless they're made of metal. And then the metal ones, they have to, essentially either paint or put something on the top of it to make it so it's a Miller table. And then it kind of wears out. So just better off just making one. I'm painting as I watch. Ooh, Black Poison. There you go. Some Flower Gold Wizards Paydirt. I got some of that. Where is mine? Well, it's not the Black Poison, but I got some Flower Gold Wizard Paydirt. This one is custom bag. I had them making a custom bag of Paydirt for a live show. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to do that one soon. As soon as I do my Flower Gold Wizards video that I'm supposed to do with his new, with his sluice. So it was supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out. So I'm supposed to have a video next Tuesday. Next Saturday. This coming up Saturday. With a Flower Gold Wizard sluice. I don't know if I'm going to have time to finish it. We'll have to see. Hopefully. If not, it'll be next month somewhere stuffed in there. So. You gotta get this Flower Gold Wizard sluice. Just get the sluice. What is it, $80 now? $80 Flower Gold Wizard sluice? You still have to do a little bit of painting afterwards, but Now you just need to get some Kinky's Paydirt and pan that out, Dina. That'll keep you busy. You won't keep up with chat at all. I won one from GP. Ah, that's why. You were like, man, I'm not buying that, but if I win one. Yeah. I remember when I reviewed, so originally, because he doesn't really, I mean, I'm sure Jason probably said it at some point in one of his videos, but, a lot of times, I'm fast forwarding through videos or not paying attention or doing other things. So when I originally wanted to review Jason's Paydirt, I bought all three. And I originally thought, okay, the Black Poison's going to be hard. The Flower Gold Wizard's going to be medium. And the Rigby Paydirt would be easy. So I bought all three. I said, I'm going to do a battle between the three of them. And I kind of procrastinated all week until it got to like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something. And then Fridays is when I do all my editing. Saturday I do my thumbnail. And then I post it Saturday. So I was like, well, I kind of procrastinated. I should have shot it Tuesday and Wednesday, but I was like, I got Thursday. I got all day. I can shoot it. And I was like, oh, this Rigby's is so hard. I was like, what the junk? And I was like, they're all hard. I was like, I did not think this through. So did not think it through at all. I was like, man, these are not all easy. None of them are easy. I was like, they're all hard. Yeah, Bierman's has Miller tables too. Bierman's prospecting. Good person in the community. Just keep the money in the community. And Gold Baron, I'm interested to see. Yeah, the HD. I can't fiddle with blue bowls or Miller tables. I just can't. I can't do that bent over staring with the little bitty brush, and yeah, I can't do it. Some people can, and to all the power to them. I just can't do it. But Gold Baron, I will say, reading I love your description for the Iron Death. It definitely scare you away if it will definitely put fear in me. I was like, do I really want to pan this out? So, because originally, I will tell you, when I finagled this one, originally when I messed up this week's Paydirt, where I was supposed to do the Arizona Paydirt for the from Brian Thomas Gold, I needed a video for this Saturday, or last Saturday. Last Saturday, I was like, well, I'm gonna just do the Gold Baron Paydirt. I'm gonna do the Iron Death. And originally, I had planned on doing yours, but then I just kept reading your description. I was transferring your description to my little thing so I could put it on, in my video. I was like, man, I said, I think I'm just going to do the Miner's Catch instead. I said, I need to work myself up to do the Iron Death. So, that's how intimidating just your description is that your video should have been out last Saturday, but I kind of chickened out and decided I didn't want to spend that much time. I mean, I also had the money pit in my backyard, so, I was like, well, I got to deal with the money pit. Do I really want to be also staring at the Iron Death? So if it isn't tough enough, let me know. Yeah. It's a half-gram bag. Yeah, it's a half-gram bag. So because that's why I was looking at the description, because I was just going to, because typically the way I shoot my videos is I'll shoot my video and like I read the kind of description as I get to that part, because that's when I also put the score in my spreadsheet while I'm down here in my studio. And I know I had scanned over your description before, but then I was like, okay, I couldn't, since I was supposed to be doing a 2.5 gram bag of Paydirt, I was like, well, okay, if I'm going to do, either the Miners Depot or Gold Baron, I was like, well, let me make sure the Gold Baron was 1 gram. And I was like, well, let me read the description. So then I read the description. I was like, oh, it's only a half a gram, but then I kept reading the rest of it. And I was like, wow, okay. I was like, I'm stressed out enough with my money pit. And I'm not finding any treasure like Oak Island. I was like, I'll just do the Miner's Catch. I was like, I'm guaranteed at least 100% ROI. It'll put me in a good mood. There's a vial that kinky going around from GP to Carl to care less. I remember, who was it? I thought, There used to be another Paydirt reviewer, and there was an idea. So I know originally the idea was first it went around where everyone was going to pass around a gold pan, where everyone started sending a gold pan from everyone to everyone. And then there was one reviewer, and then the idea was, so we were supposed to, originally it was going to be, we were passing around a gold pan to every single, creator. Everyone was going to sign it. And just keep signing, and I thought it was going to get given away. But then the other one was we were going to do that with a Paydirt. We were like, okay, we all just pass around a bag of Paydirt, and everyone just keep adding a little bit of gold to it or change it up a little bit. But then there was one reviewer that, when he got the gold pan, just kind of wouldn't give it up. So everyone's like, okay, nix that deal. Like, no one wants to send stuff out to people that aren't going to be, sending it back. So. All right. Slowly working this down. All right, Brad, thanks for popping in the show. Appreciate it. And Fox Rider, if you pan yours out before I do my review, let me know if you enjoy it. I think I moved the Iron Death to this month coming up. I'll have to look at my notes upstairs. I know it's soon. Because I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to get the nightmare over sooner than later. But I think I realized once I had to, the Flower Gold Wizard sluice video might get delayed. I was like, well, I might as well do the Gold Baron too. So it'd just be a, a 2-for-1er with fine gold. So. But even though I do write down my schedule, it's never set in concrete because things pop up, close up. So, but I know I wanted to get to the Iron Death sooner than later because I know people are going to be curious. So. So we got 18 more minutes of panning. I think I should be able to pan this all out in 18 minutes. This isn't too hard. Brian Thomas gold tends to be pretty easy. It's all just this California river sand. Yeah, see, I don't do really hard Paydirts on lives too much. It tends to, like I said, I do have to pay attention to chat. I watch chat half the time while I'm panning, so. No, I think he was saying send me one so I could do it on a live show. But the last time I did a really hard bag on a live show was the, what was it? The Old Moldy. I did the Old Moldy bag. Australian Paydirt, so. Oh. Yeah, I have one to review. I have one on my shelf to review, but yeah, I wouldn't. There's a reason why I only have one. See, I didn't order two. I didn't have two Secret Choppers buy one because I knew I wouldn't do one on a live show. It's just too hard to do them on Tuesday shows. And I don't mind, like, so if I'm doing, like, let's say if I do so for like this Miner's Catch, I did the 1 gram review, and then I did the 1 gram on the live show, and that's this right here. That's probably a gram. It's probably 1.1. If I missed anything, it wouldn't really matter, and it wouldn't change how the live show looked. But if you're doing a really hard bag, and it's supposed to have 1 gram, and if I only find half because I'm spending half the time chatting, it might not look so good for the seller. And I don't want a seller to look bad because I'm, not putting my all into the panning like I do for a review. But I don't mind if I miss gold on the Tuesdays because this Paydirt just goes into my Tuesday tailing. So, no, I didn't get anything from Brian. No, I'm gonna have to hit up Dave on I'll have to hit up Dave on Facebook because generally I can usually get some decent deals from from Dave on Facebook if I bug him. Yeah. I have to wait until I see that he's online, though, and bug him, because then hope he's in a good mood. But I might have to try that and see if I can't get one. I really wanted one of the ones that Mike from Gold Nugget Sales had, because he had some really beautiful ones, and he does such good pictures. Such a good job with pictures. You know what you're getting. But he sold those out lickety split. So yeah, if I do a live show, a long time live show, that's what I said this year. I think we talked about this last month. If I do another all day show, I will probably just do harder Paydyrts. Because last time I think I had like one of them was like a 6-pound bag of Paydirt, and I had a whole bunch of 3-pound bags of Paydirt, and like one of the 6-pounders was just somebody who sent it to me. It had no gold in it, it was just panning out. So, but if I do another all day live show, if I do another like 8-hour stream, it will definitely just be all harder Paydirt. So. Are you asking about the long live show Fox Rider? Or are you asking about the gold slices? Well, either one, I'll answer just both of them. Or if you're asking a question from before that, I don't know. Yeah, so they used to, Mike had some slices of like quartz and gold, and quartz and rock, where they just slice them real thin. But he did a video about it. It might have been year before last, but it's been a while since he showed it. But he only had them in his store for like a day. I mean, literally, he posted the video, and like the next day, they were all gone. So, I do like the black. I have some. I actually have some. Oh, I should have put the Iron Death next to those. But I do have some. I do have some double black diamond on my shelf too. Oh, maybe I'll do that. I'll have to look. So I have some double black diamond on my shelf, and then I have the Iron Death. So maybe I'll try to do the Iron Death on a Saturday, and then on the Tuesday, on the Tuesday, maybe I'll do a double black diamond, because I know I have extra on my shelf to give away. I have some extra Gold Nugget Sales Paydirt to give away. So maybe I'll do that. I'll look at the schedule when I get upstairs and look at it. So, and I definitely will, Leslie. I have to see what day it's going to be on. So it was just last year, suicide awareness just so happened to be on a Tuesday. It just so happened to be, and Tuesdays are typically the only day I'm guaranteed not to have my kids. So with my rotating schedule, I can have my kids every single day except for Tuesday. I never have my kids Tuesday. So Suicide Awareness Day just so happened to be on a Tuesday last year, which, I had been wanting to do that live show for a while. It was always like on and then, even with my rotating schedule, every year before that, it'd be like, oh, it's on a Thursday, and that's a Thursday I have my kids. And I didn't want to be like in here in the studio for 8 hours while my kids are upstairs, and I have to tell them, don't bang around and don't do this. So I have to see what day it's going to be on this year, and see what day, if I can do it with my kids, without my kids being here. So, because I'd like to do another one, It was a fun time. I was kind of scared that, my hands would give out or my back would give out doing a long show for 8 hours, but it wasn't too bad. I would definitely try to set it up a little bit better. Like I said, I didn't have that one planned out too much, because originally the concept was I could tell you my original concept was I wanted to do a 12-hour stream, like all 12 hours, but do it with 2 other content creators or a couple content creators or a couple of reviewers, where we would all take turns. So like I might do 4 hours, and then somebody else would take over and do it for 4 hours, and somebody else would do it for 4 hours, and even get it all the way up to a 24-hour show. Then, like I said, I was kind of wishy-washy if I could do it, you know, because I've never panned for 8 hours straight. Even when I do really tough bags of Paydirt, you know, I'll do 2 hours and I'll go upstairs, lay down for an hour or two, come back down, pan. So I wasn't sure if, you know, I could hold up doing an 8-hour live stream. So, but now I know I can. You know, I definitely will. You know, maybe I'll still try to do that. It's like, you know, throw in some other people with it, you know. See if I can't say, like, you know, if I do it for 4 hours and have somebody else do it for 2, then I come back for 4 and have somebody else do it for 2 or something, you know. Yeah, HD. I'm gonna have to ask Mike. Next time I talk to Mike, I gotta email Mike. Let me write a note. Because I have to email Mike about something. I'll have to see if he's got, because you know he hoards. You know Mike hoards all that stuff. You know, if he puts 10 slabs up on his website, you know he's got 3 or 4 slabs he left on the side. So I'll have to see. Maybe he's like holding a couple in the back, you know. Yeah, Nate he's always just, I mean, we all know this now, Nate Bot. We've been here for hours. So everybody knows that gold fact. All right. Well, so we got 8 more minutes of panning. I don't think I'm gonna get to finish this one off. I still got about half the Paydirt left, but I'll pan out this last little pan, and I'll put the definitely a hoarder. Definitely, I don't blame him. Like, it's funny. Like, I remember talking. We were in chat one day talking, and I was asking him why, because he had put some gold up that he said he wasn't going to put up, and he put some gold up to sell. And I was like, "Well, why'd you put it up?" Because I knew he was hoarding it. And he said, "Well, I have to pay my bills," and that's it. You know, if you have a website and you've got 1,000 pieces of gold and none of it's selling, well, then you got to go into your hoard and pull a couple extra pieces out so it's new. You know, because I do the same thing. Like I said, there was an Arizona nugget that was on his website for probably 2.5 years, and I wanted that thing so bad, but I just couldn't justify spending it for my daughter. You know, it's for her little nugget collection. Because it was a heart-shaped Arizona nugget, and it wasn't that big. I think it was like 3 or 4 grams, 3 grams, but it was just in my cart forever. And then he sold it, so you know. But it took 2 years to sell, so every once in a while he's got to pop in that hoard gold. Hey, Cajun, how's it going? That's the man that sent me the Hubig's pies. One of my new best friends. Helped me get fatter. Yep. I joke with him all the time. He's like Scrooge McDuck. He just every morning goes swimming in a vault full of gold nuggets, just swimming around. And oh, this one went in my pocket. Might as well put it up on the website. Yeah. But all right, this is what we got from the. So we got some nice pieces. Obviously, this is supposed to be 2.5 grams, and I did not find. I don't even think that's a gram of it. Maybe with those pickers. Yeah. But I'll have to finish that off later tonight after. But this is what I got from the Miners Catch. Guaranteed. Whale came in and bought it. So that's the Miners Catch Gold. Really awesome. I really hope they put Paydirt back on their website. And it's funny, they've been around for a while, and I haven't seen anyone review them. The Miners Catch, that is. Because I was following their Paydirt for probably well over a year, like before I even bought it. So almost close to 2 years. And now that I put out a video about them, they sell out and take all their pay dirt off. So I'll be curious to see how they come back, what they post up. So Jason might have some. That's another one, yeah. But I've seen some, like I've seen some slabs before. I've seen a couple go up on eBay and stuff like that, but none of them were as anywhere near close to as pretty as the ones that GNS had up. I mean, it was just gold. I mean, they were pretty high priced, but there was just so much gold in them. They were beautiful. So someone bought the rabbit nugget and immediately turned around and added, yeah. Yeah, that's typically, you know, it's like you'll see it. You see like certain sellers and you wonder, man, how are they selling this gold for this much? It's because, you know, it's the same thing with Paydirt sellers. You have certain Paydirt sellers and you wonder, like, how do they sell their Paydirt for so much money when it's only got 1 gram in it and they're charging $40 more than everyone else? You just get a following of people that buy from you exclusively, and that's what they're going to stick with. They're not going to buy from anybody else. They're just going to buy from you. And so then you can start charging more. So, and that's what they do. They have a couple gold dealers like that. You know, I've seen them. Like, I can see, I know what the Dave sells his gold for. I know what Mike sells his gold for. I know what, you know, some of these other sellers do. But then there's other ones that you'll see and you're like, man, they're charging, you know, like if I look at Mike, he's selling probably, like right now, it's probably 120 a gram for a premium for a nice nugget, where you'll go to other sites and it's 150, $200. And it's like, but they have their loyal buyers that probably buy, you know, an ounce a month from them. And you're like, okay, that's all I need. That makes me my money for, you know, pay my bills. So I don't need to lower my prices for everybody else. I'm definitely going to look, Shane. Thanks for the info. At a point, I might as well buy a gram of gold. Love to see Mike's gold arcs. I would too. I've been trying to set up going to visit Mike and his gold, but it just me and Mike have tried twice now to set up hanging out, spending time, and we just, my schedule or his schedule is just a whammy. So, but originally I was supposed to try to fly up for the Yuba hunt to hang out with Mike. But it was just so happened it was when I had my kids for the summer, so I couldn't do it. But I told him, I was like, I would rather just fly up there and hang out with you, you know, than go sweating out in the river, not finding any gold when I could be, you know, inside your studio staring at a ton of gold. So Mike is 45 minutes from me, and yeah, you know, it's one of the things I miss about living in California is I'd have been a lot closer to a lot of the gold. So yeah, no plans anytime soon. I told Mike, I said, you know, my son has got another, like my daughter's just getting out of the house, hopefully, maybe, in the next couple of months. And then once she's out and she's on her own and living on her, it'll make my schedule a little bit easier with my sons. So with my son, so you know, it's not so hard because when you have 2 kids and you have to take them with you and they go to different schools, different grades, it's a lot harder. So with just my son during the summer, it'll make things a lot easier. I can say you're coming with me, or, you know, I can go up for a week without him. So the weekender is gold nugget sale. So but let me go and make sure, because we still have to do the hidden giveaway and make sure everyone's comments went through. Let me see. Held. No. All right. So all the comments went through. Get the link. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. All right, got the link. We'll do that. Here we go. So, all right. So let me, here, I will do it. I'm going to post. If you haven't already, I am posting the hidden comment. Make sure you go and, or Nightbot's going to post it, but make sure you go and leave a comment in the hidden video. This is going to be for spot number 7 of 8. Next week will be spot number 8. 1.6 ounce silver bar from Cajun Bullion, first place. Second place, 6.7 round, copper round from Cajun Bullion as well. So make sure you leave a comment, and then make sure you stay till the very end, because if I do call your name, you must post something in the live chat to claim it so I can write your name down. If not, you lose your spot and I give it away next week. So the Weekender is gone. Now, is it out of stock? I was looking. Did he also sell it? Here, I'm going to go look right now. Did he sell that last bag of his Australian Paydirt? Let me see. Gold Paydirt. The best of California. I don't have one of those. I might have to get one of those. Yeah. So he sold out. So he sold out of the Australian Paydirt. I thought that was probably the best deal he had, was his Australian one. So, especially when it had the nugget in it. So that's what you got to get him when he's got the bags with the nuggets, the guaranteed nuggets. You got to get those before they run out, especially the specialty ones. Like if it's just something that's, he's keeping year round, not a rush. But when he does like those Aussie bags and he's putting those Aussie nuggets in it, a 1 gram nugget, like right now, a 1 gram Aussie nugget is probably, even if it was exactly 1 gram, easily sell for 125, 130. It made those bags so much better. So. Hey, Refotris, how's it going? He put up a new one. Yeah, I saw the new one. I have his Nugget Falls. I have the Mendenhall on my shelf. I got that one not too long ago. But that one I'm not going to do a review on it. Everyone knows I love Mike. He's my #1 recommended seller. He's my #1 spot on my Miller Prospecting Paydirt. So, but I saved it for a live show. And like I said, I do have some of his double black diamond. I even have some of his beginner bag. I'm going to pan out one of his beginner bags on a live show. I told him one of my live shows coming up, I'm going to do a beginner bag and a double diamond. Do them both in the same live show just to compare just like how solar opposites they are. Then I'm going to give some away. So the sooner I get to the GNS bags, the sooner I can give some away just for some people watching the show. Yeah, I really like I said, when I did my 3 gram battle with all of his bags and I went through them all, I really think the Aussie bag was well underpriced. Especially if you got it early where it had the nuggets in it. So thank you very much, Robert. Thank you very much. Soon. It's coming soon. So, yeah. But all right, let me make sure I have everything for the giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. Let me get rid of the panning cam. Let's go down. Bye-bye. Some beautiful gold. That's some really good gold. I might send pictures of it. I don't know. If I do, it'll be on Patreon, but you can have a free account on Patreon and see that stuff. Make sure that is up there. Yeah. So before we do the giveaway, because then I know after I do the giveaway, everyone flees. So if you're a Patreon member, tomorrow morning, I will be posting all the info for the Dr. Miller's Miracle AU Elixir bottles of Paydirt. They're going to be up for sale. Prices, shipping, how much material's in there, how much gold, and all that. I think I'm 99% sure it's going to be $115, but there's going to be only X number of bottles per tier. So there's going to be, I think, 5 bottles for the, I wrote it down. I wrote it down because I'm mentally challenged. There's going to be 5 bottles for the $5 tier, 7 bottles for the $10 tier, and then 10 bottles for, or maybe it's 11. There's 11 bottles for the $25, $79 tier. So tomorrow I will make the post. It won't be the official buy here post. I'll just be explaining everything. And then a few hours later, like 5 or 6 hours later in the day, I will post the actual for sale, because it will be, it will tell you for $5 tier or $10 tier or $25 tier. So then you can buy some of the Paydirt. 115, I think, shipped. There will be, most of them will be 1 grams, but there will be 1 2 gram as well for each tier. So you can grab A little bit heavier one if you want to do some more panning. It will be harder Paydirt, but not super, super hard. I think half the gold is -40. A lot of black sands in it, but I didn't try to specifically make them impossible. So, but if you don't like hard Paydirt, this probably isn't the one for you, even though it's in a really, really cool glass bottle. And these are glass bottles, so glass bottles, you know, definitely shelf worthy. So, and then when you get better and you can pan out really good, you can say, now I can get on my shelf and pan it out. So, Charles King, how's it going? Dale, how's it going? Home Zoo and Prospecting, how's it going as well? I still have 11 to 10 bag with a 2 gram nugget to go through. I got a 3. The White Horse bag. Yeah, I like the White Horse. I really like all of, I will say probably the Alaskan Paydirt is my least favorite of the Gold Nugget Sales Paydirts. I like all of his other Paydirts. I really do. I haven't panned one out yet, but I will tell you my favorite bag of Paydirt from Mike is his beginner bag. I actually had to add one to my shelf. I just love the artwork on it so much. Every time I go to Mike's website, I told him that's the bag I just catches my eye. I just love it. So I had to get, this is a 1 grammer though. I didn't make him custom make me a 1 grammer bag. Don't ask him to do it. He doesn't like y'all that much. He likes me. So he made me a 1 grammer. So for my shelf, my kids' future shelf, my kids' future shelves. But all right, let's shrink down the ugly mug and do the giveaway. Or yeah, it is a giveaway. There's a contest. Let me see. Let me read off everyone's name that's already in it. So right now we have John Gear, Aaron Mack, Rinky's Carnage Crew, Michael Reed, Beerman's Prospecting, and Adam Weiss. So those are the current ones, and now we're going to go to spot number 7. So good luck to everyone. Let's shrink down the ugly mug. And again, as always, YouTube and its affiliates have nothing to do with this. Oh, and if you didn't see, Alaskan Assassin Adventures, I'm wearing his shirt today. Thank you very much for that trade, brother. I traded shirts with him. If you want to trade shirts, let me know. Email me, Dylan at Miller Prospecting. All right. Shrink down. Here we go. Ooh, Miller Prospecting. Look at that. Ain't that a beautiful website? Yes, sir. So, beautiful website. Top 10 has been rearranged. Gold Baron Paydirt is now in my top 10. I removed a seller. I'm not going to say who it is, but I did remove a seller. I did remove it. So, Gold Nugget Sales, Culver Prospecting, Vendetta Prospecting, Gold Nugget Man, Gold Baron Paydirt, Bear Prospecting, Brian Thomas Gold, Gold Bay, Flash in the Pan Paydirt, Yukon Alley, and Mammoth Gold Nugget tie for the top 10 because that is stock. In fact, a lot of these top 10, that's how popular these sites are. That's how good they are. Most of them are out of stock. You know, a lot of Bear Prospecting is out of stock. Culver's out of stock. Vendetta hits out of stock a lot. Brian Thomas and Gold Bay will probably always stay in stock. Gold Bay doesn't sell his own Paydirt though, so he's slowly moving his way off the list, which I hate to see. Gold Nugget Man sells out. So yeah, Gold Nugget Sales is probably the one that keeps everything in stock the best and is always updating and stuff like that. So last couple of videos, if you didn't see this bag that I did tonight, the Miner's Catch video, watch that. Vendetta's Sonoran bag, no guarantee. And of course, the Gold Baron 1 gram bag. Check all those out. And then, like Casey had asked me earlier, if you go to my shop button, it shows you all the equipment I sell. This is everything I use in my pants. If you ever want to know what I use, it's here. 10-inch gold pan is right there. Gloves I use, everything. So, but I don't like to hark on that. So, but there you go. Best website ever. And now, this, what y'all came to see, what y'all want to know. Who's going to win? Who's in there? Who's spot number 7? Because there's only 2 spots left. And this is a beautiful silver bar, too. It's crazy. I don't know why. I must have been mad with power when I decided to give this one away. But, all right. 49 comments. Let's pick a winner. Rocky Mountain Adventures. There we go. Is that Teo? Oh, no. I haven't seen him in chat. Hopefully he's here. Drives me crazy when YouTube does this and puts the whole name on there. So, all right, let's see if he's, I think that's Teo. We'll have to find out. There we go. Back to Miller Prospecting. Back to the ugly mug. Well, here, we're going to show it one more time. Just in case he's not watching, I will read the whole name again. Teo Rocky Mountain Adventures. So, there we go. If you're there, it's a T in your thing. Come on now. Be here or be square. Let's see. All right, there we go. And I'm sure my mods will be screaming, he's already said something. But we'll have to see. Yeah, his silver bars. I don't know why. I think it was just because I was rushed and oh, he is here. Well, there you go. Congratulations, brother. So Teo has spot number 7, and we still got one more. So next week will be spot number 8. Again, 1.6 ounce silver bar, and then a 6.7 ounce copper bar for second place. There we go. So that will be next week, last spot, and then the following week we will do the during the Patreon live show, we'll do the giveaways. And then after that, I am pretty sure I am just going to switch to the Miller Prospecting gold-plated dimes as a weekly giveaway for the live shows. But what I might do is I'm working on, I might put some with actually little pieces of gold in it too, where it might, my idea was I would take 10, because I can't give away gold on every single one, because, you know, even a 0.1 gram picker is $10, you know. So I can't afford to give away $10 every single Tuesday. I might do is make like 8 envelopes, and then you get to pick which number envelope you want. And like 7 of them will be a gold-plated dime, and the 8th one will be a little gold picker in the card. So I have to see. I still have 2 weeks to figure out the final thing. Either that, or I'm going to get on the rush like I did this time and not have a prize and give away another silver bar. So, but again, hopefully I will have a video out Saturday. Hopefully I'll have the Flower Gold Wizards video. If not, it will be next month, and there won't be a video this Saturday. And, you know, I'll have to work extra hard next month to get the Flower Gold Wizards video out, a Gold Baron video out as well. Later tonight, I will have part 2 of my Oak Island treasure hunt in my backyard. Part 2 of that will be out later tonight after I finish making these. So Paydirt will be available tomorrow on Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, look forward to those. So all that, tomorrow, like I said, I'll post those probably like 11 in the morning with all the info, and then probably at 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock, somewhere around there, I will actually post them up for sale, because I need to finish making them, opening up all the boxes, packaging them all up, having them ready, because I want to have them ready before I sell them, so then I can just start running to the post office, dropping them off. So not that many Tuesdays in a year. Yeah, 52. You know, too many. So. But I'm going to get out of here. Thanks everyone for watching the live show. I really enjoy hanging out with everyone every single Tuesday. I can't appreciate y'all enough for coming and joining and hanging out with me. I hope everyone has a great week. I hope everyone finds a lot of gold this week, because gold is just going up and up and up and up. So have some fun, happy panning, and I will hopefully see you all next week.